What is up guys, it's Modded Warfare here and welcome back to another PS4 video. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the WebKit exploit on the PS4. This is basically the kind of biggest exploit you can do on the PS4 right now. It's the closest thing I guess to jailbreak. I mean there's various other exploits and I'll go over those in other videos, but right now this is kind of the main one that's out at the moment. And as I explained in my other video on the PS4, that it's not fully exploited yet, not in the same sense as like, you know, a jailbreak on PS3 or JTAG RGH on Xbox 360. It's not quite there yet, but you can do cool stuff like running Linux, access the debug settings and various other things on the PS4 as well that I will get around to covering in other videos. But in this video, I'm basically going to be showing you how to actually get this exploit running on your console. So it's not a normal exploit, like it's not the kind of exploit you would expect. It's not a software patch or anything like that. What this exploit actually is it's simply a web page. All you have to do is get onto a certain web page on your PS4 in order to have the exploit. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is get onto this web page on your PS4. So you can see it right here. And the main thing you're looking for here is the PS4 WebKit Playground. This lets you say like run Linux on your PS4 from here. You've got file managers, you can look at memory, you can enable debug settings, that kind of stuff. So there's a bunch of cool stuff that you can do on here, and all you have to do is get this website loaded on your PS4's browser, web browser. Now, as I explained before in my previous video, this exploit is for update 1.76. If you've updated your PS4 above 1.76, you'll still be able to get onto this web page, but you won't be able to do any of the exploits on here. It's going to be completely useless if you've updated past 1.76. I did do a previous video explaining to you guys how you can get a console that is 1.76 or below. So I'll link that video in the description if you're looking to buy a PlayStation 4 that's going to be on the older update so that you can do this exploit. But if you've updated past 1.76, then you're not going to be able to do this update. Now I'm currently on 1.52, which is below 1.76, so we need to get to 1.76. So if you're not on 1.76, if you're below 1.76, you need to do the update to 1.76. So what we're going to do first of all is download the update from PS4 Dev Wiki. I'll link this in the description. To make sure you have the right update, again, it's 1.76 that we need to install. It should say it's also included with Dragon Age Inquisition, and the release date should be 20th of August 2014. And you'll have the right update. You can download it right here. There's a mega link right here that you can use to download the update file. And you're also going to need a USB stick. So we're going to be updating from the USB. We're not going to connect the PS4 to the network, because if we do that, it may try and automatically install the latest update, which will be way past 1.76, and you won't be able to do the exploit. So you need to make sure that you're not connecting your PS4 to the network. Make sure you've got your Ethernet cables unplugged from the PS4. Make sure that the PS4 is not connected to your Wi-Fi. If you've already connected it to your Wi-Fi, but you've somehow haven't installed the latest update yet, then make sure that you maybe switch your router off or something while you're doing this. But yeah, just make sure you don't connect to the network while you're doing this. Okay, and once you've downloaded the update file, you should get it right here. It's a .pup file. So all you do is put that on a USB stick. So you need to get a USB stick, plug it into your computer, make sure it's FAT32 format. So it needs to be FAT32, which you can do. You can just right click and format it right here if you haven't already. If it's in NTFS or something, then you can format it to FAT32. Create a new folder called PS4 in capitals. Then go into that folder, create another folder called update, again in capitals. And then go in that folder and put your update file in there. So it should be PS4, update, and then the update file in the root of your USB stick. So once the update's finished, what you want to go ahead and do is unplug it from your computer. Don't plug it into the PS4 straight away. Switch your PS4 on first without plugging in the USB stick, and I'll show you what to do from there. Okay guys, so once you're on the PS4, what you want to do is just select user 1 and go, and first thing you need to do is head into the settings. So head into settings and scroll down and look for system down at the bottom, and then look for automatic downloads and uploads. Now what you want to do is select that and make sure the saved data and update files checkbox is unchecked. This will be checked by default, which means automatic updates is on, which means as soon as you connect to the network, it's going to try and download the latest update. You do not want that to happen, so make sure that box is unchecked so that it will not automatically download an update file from PSN as soon as you connect it to your network. But right now we should still be offline. I also, just to note, I updated to 1.70 just to get the option to disable DHCP so that I could record with my capture card. Okay, so once you've disabled that little checkbox, go ahead and plug your USB stick with the update on into the console. So wait a few seconds and then head up to System Software Update, and it should have 1.76 showing up, which is from your USB stick. Go ahead and click Next and install this update. Okay guys, so we're back onto the console now after updating, so select user 1 once again and we'll get back in here. So now that we've done this, you want to go ahead to Settings and just check to make sure the update's installed correctly. So scroll down to System and then System Information, and your system software should be on 1.76 now, which is the correct update for the exploit. So now that you've updated to 1.76, now we actually have to connect your PS4 to the network. So I'm going to plug in my Ethernet cable now. Again, just make sure that that checkbox for automatic updates is definitely turned off, unchecked. Okay, so now that we have network connectivity, what we need to do, and obviously if you're using wireless, then you're going to have to go and set that up. So you'll have to go into the network and set up an internet connection and select Wi-Fi. Because I'm using a Ethernet cable, I don't really need to do that. So once you've connected to the network, all you need to do now is go to this website that has the exploit. Now the problem is that you cannot just use the internet browser because you're not signed into PSN. And if you do sign into PSN, then there's a problem, which is that you're going to be on the latest update, because you need to download the latest update to get to be signed into PSN on the PS4 to use the web browser. So you can't just go on the web browser and go to the website. What you have to do is you have to head into Settings and go to User Guide, and this opens a web page. And by default it opens manuals.playstation.net, which will take you to this page. And the problem right here is that you cannot just search a URL. There's no option to just search for a web page. So what you're looking for here, guys, is we're looking to try and get an external link to another website so that we can get out of PlayStation's website. So what we're really looking for is to get access to Google, because Google will give us a search bar so that we can search the website and get to the website that we want. So to do that, we head to Support. And again, this web page may look different depending when you're doing this, because obviously they probably update their website every now and then, and obviously different regions, the web page may look different depending on what country you live in. So yeah, but just look through the links. There's usually a link that will take you to their social media, so there should be a link to YouTube on this site somewhere. For me, if I head to News, then there's YouTube right here that I can click on, so I'm going to click on that and that should take me to YouTube, their YouTube page. Okay, and from here I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and go to Plus YouTube. And this will take me to Google Plus. Okay, and from Google Plus I go to Profile and then click on Profile. And from here I can go to About Google, which will take me here. And finally I can go to Google itself by clicking this link here. So you have to jump through a bunch of hoops, but eventually you can get to Google, and from Google we can search for the website. Okay, so what you want to type in here is you want to head to 89.108.88, reading this off my internet browser on my computer right now, and then 221. So head to this IP address, just search for it in Google search bar, and then the top link should be PS4 start, press A on that, and here we go, we've made it to this website that we were on the computer. And from here we can head to PS4 WebKit Playground, and that will take us to the exploit. So we've now done it, we're on the exploit, and we should be able to do all the different things from in here, all the different exploits. We can run Linux on here, access file system, do stuff like execute debug settings, all that kind of stuff. So that is basically it. That's how you get on here, but it's not a very good... I'm going to show you another way of getting on here that's going to be a lot easier, but I did need to show you just the manual way of accessing this site in case these two methods don't apply to you. But there's two things that you can do. Not everyone's going to be able to do this because you need a specific, you either need a specific router, or you need the PS4 to be connected through your computer's internet connection. You need one of those two things to make this easier, but there's a way that we can access this site without having to go through all of those different links to try and get onto Google and then search for the site and then eventually get on here. There's another way to access this, and the other way to access this is where we can actually get it so that if we just select user guide, instead of taking us to manuals.playstation.net, it will take us straight to the exploit webpage, which would be perfect because then we don't have to jump through all those different sites to try and get onto it. We can just click on user guide and then we'll get the exploit page loading up straight away. Like I say, this may not apply to everyone because you either need a specific router or you need to have your PlayStation connected through your computer. I unfortunately do not have the support in my router to do this, but I'm going to do it the way of connecting through the computer's internet connection. So that's the way I'm going to show you. I may also have a guide, or I'll try and maybe get a guide or something on how to do it through a router if you have the functionality in your router. So anyway, I'll go back onto the computer and show you guys what you need to do so that you can get this to instantly go to the exploit page. Okay, so now that we're back on the computer, what we're wanting to do is redirect the web page manuals.playstation.net, redirect that to the IP address of the exploit site. Now there's two ways we can do this. One is you can do it in your router settings. So I'll probably put some images up on screen because my router unfortunately does not support this. Not every router does support this, and it's basically URL forwarding or URL mapping, I think, something like that it's called. In your router page somewhere there's going to be an option to enter the address of the website and then enter an IP address to redirect that to. So whenever somebody tries to type in manuals.playstation.net into your internet browser, it will redirect them to the exploit site instead. Now, if you do that, if your router has that option, it's fantastic because then it doesn't matter how you're connecting your PlayStation to the internet. As long as you're connecting through that router, which you should be, then it will redirect you whenever you go on user's guide. It will redirect you to the exploit page. Now, because my router does not support this functionality and not everyone's will, there is another way around this, which is to connect the PS4 to your computer with an Ethernet cable. So plug one end of the Ethernet cable into the PlayStation 4, plug the other end into your computer. Okay, so to do this, what you want to go ahead and do is click on Start, head into your control panel, head into Network and Internet and Network and Sharing Center, and then select Change Adapter Settings. In here, you want to, I've renamed my local area connection to PS4. Normally this would be called local area connection or something. I'll call it local area connection 1. So normally it would be called something like local area connection, and if your PS4 is turned on and connected to it, it should say identifying, and it should say it's or it'll either say identifying or unidentified network. And what you want to do is share your computer's internet connection, so your wireless connection on your computer, you want to share that with the PS4. So to do that, again, I just rename this to PS4 or game console or something. Right click on your wireless network, head to properties, go to sharing, allow other network users to connect through this computer's internet connection. If you don't have a drop down box, you can just click OK. If you do have a drop down box, make sure you select the PS4 as the adapter you want to share the connection with, or local area connection if you haven't renamed it, then click OK. And once you've done that, you're now sharing the internet connection from your computer to your PS4. So your PS4 is now connecting through your computer's internet connection. And the advantage of this is that you can now set up URL redirecting on your computer's host file, which will then affect the PS4 because the PS4 is connecting through the computer. So in order to do this, press Start, head to Computer, head to your main hard drive, your local disk C, head to the Windows folder, and then head to the System32 folder. If you're missing any of these folders, you can't find them, just head to Organize, Folder and Search Options, and make sure inside the View tab that you have Show Hidden Files and Folders and Drives active. Make sure that's enabled, and you'll be able to see all of the system files. So you want to head into System32, and then you want to head into the Drivers folder, and then the ETC folder, and you'll have a file in here called Hosts. What you want to do is right click and edit that with either Notepad or Notepad++ if you have Notepad++. If you don't, just edit it with Notepad. And in here you can see it should by default have this 127.0.0.1 and localhost set up in here. What you want to do is add the IP address of the exploit site, which is right here. So I'm going to copy this address. It will be linked in the description, and we'll paste it in here. So we'll go ahead and paste that in. I hate it how these things don't just paste in plain text. I'll just type it in instead. Okay, so 89.108.88.221. So we enter the IP address and then add a space or a tab. So go ahead and enter the PlayStation address, which was manuals.playstation.net. So just enter that in there, manuals.playstation.net, and go ahead and click save. Again, I will put that in the description. I'll put that in a line in the description. You can just copy and paste it into your host file if you wish. But now that we've done that, so if I try and go to manuals.playstation.net on my computer, it'll take me to the exploit site instead of going to playstation.net, and that's what we're doing. We've kind of overwritten this address so that it will now, whenever we go to it, it will redirect it to the exploit site just as we want. And now that will also happen on the PS4. So I'll go on the PS4 and show you that right now. Okay, so here we are where we left off on the PS4. What I'm going to do is just back out of here and go back into User's Guide. And this time it takes us straight to the exploit site. So no more mucking around with, trying to get onto YouTube from PlayStation's website, and then from YouTube to Google Plus, and then from Google Plus to Google, and then searching for the IP. All we have to do now is just select User's Guide, and then bang, we're straight into the exploit. The reason we've got this little web page here is that it lets you access, Google, Facebook. It lets you go straight to a URL from in here, so you can access any website without being signed into PSN or on the latest update. And it also has, of course, a link to WebKit Playground, which is our main exploit site. So there's nothing stopping you from accessing this site on the newest update, 3.55 or whatever the latest update of the PS4 is by the time you're watching this video, but you're not going to be able to do any of these exploits. So that's it, guys. You can now access this site straight away just by clicking on that. It saves you a lot of time. The reason I went ahead and showed you the long way of doing it by going through all those different sites to try and get on Google is simply because not everyone's going to be able to do it this way. Not everyone's going to be able to have a computer right next to their PS4 so that they can connect their PS4 through their computer. And not everyone's going to have a router that's able to do the address forwarding or address mapping or whatever it's called. Not everyone's going to have that opportunity, so they're going to have to just go through it the long way as I showed you before. But if you are able to do it through connecting to your computer's internet connection and changing the host file to redirect the PS4 start site to, or to redirect the manuals.playstation.net to the PS4 start website, or if you're able to do the router thing as well by setting up the address forwarding on the router, then it's so much quicker to access this site. Just user guide and we're straight on there. So anyway, guys, that's that for the video. That's how you basically get access to the exploit for the PlayStation 4. I will be doing some more videos pretty soon. We're going to be covering installing Linux. I'm probably going to do a video on installing SteamOS and Ubuntu on the PS4, as well as maybe going over some of the debug settings and the file manager and that kind of stuff. So anyway, guys, if you liked this video or you found the information useful, go ahead and leave it a like. I really do appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Comment if you have any questions, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video.
shuffling.